Hello, let's continue our topic determiners. Here we are going to do the classifications. In the first classification we have already covered articles and we have also covered the exercises. Now the second classification that we have is possessives. Possessives, or you can also call them as possessive pronouns. They fall into this category of determiners because they determine the noun, right? So possessive pronouns. Now what is the purpose behind using a possessive pronoun or possessives in front of a noun? Now possessives or possessive pronouns are the words that show position. They show possession or ownership. Possession or ownership. So if I own something, say this is my pen. So my would be a possessive pronoun and I am using it before the noun pen. So for example, this is my pen. Now here my is a possessive and pen is a noun. So this is a possessive pronoun that I am using before the noun pen. Now if I say this book is mine, here again mine is used as a possessive, right? Then we have another sentence wherein if I say those books are yours. Now here the word yours is used as possessive because it is showing possession of books. Now another sentence is that idea of yours is excellent. That idea of yours, again yours here is used as a possessive. Now another sentence if I take that book is hers. Now here hers would be called a possessive. Now possessive can also be taken into two categories. One are possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives as well. Now if you see in the first case, this is my pen. Now I have used my before the word pen. Now if I have used my before the word pen, I am using my as a possessive adjective. But when I am using is this book is mine, here I am using it after is mine. This would be used as possessive pronoun, right? So that hardly matters because we call them as possessives. Any word that show possession of a person or a thing, we call it a possessive, right? Now with that we finish off with possessives. Let's come to the next classification, and that is adjectives of quality. Now adjectives of quality, they are also called as qualitatives right? Now, what does these qualitatives or the adjectives of quality do? They show the kind or quality of a noun. Now, a noun can be a person or a thing or a place, right? So, let's take few examples here. Paul is an honest man. Here, honest is a word that shows the quality of the noun man here. So, man is the noun and this is the qualitative that I have used here. So, it is determining this word man, it is fixing it into its meaning. So, honest man. Now, next, if I say, if I take another example, Delhi is a big city. Now, Delhi is a big city. Here again, big would be called a qualitative because it is telling the quality of the city, Delhi, right? Now, another example here is the foolish old crow tried to sing. Now, the foolish old crow. Now, crow is the noun and foolish old would be the qualitative here. Now, you can clearly see I'm using two qualitatives together or two determinants together that can be used. That is correct English, right? So, let's come to another category, that is adjectives of quantity, or they are also called as quantitatives. Right? Now, quantitatives or the adjectives of quantity, they show how much. Means they show the quantity or they show how much. They answer the question, how much is the noun there, right? Person, place, thing, anything we can talk about. Now, let's take examples for this as well. The first example, very simple one. I ate some rice. Now here some is the word that shows the quantity of rice eaten by me. So rice is the noun and some is the word that is determining it, that is determining the quantity of the rice, right? Next comes she showed much patience. Now the noun here we have is patience and it is an abstract noun. Now with abstract noun we cannot use many, we can only use much, right? So much is the word that shows the quantity of patience showed by her. So she showed much patience. Here patience is the noun and much is the quantitative that we have used. Now comes the next example that we are going to take here. There was sufficient rain this year. There was sufficient rain this year. Now there was sufficient rain this year. Now rain here is the noun that we are using, and the quantity is told by the word sufficient. So sufficient is the quantitative word used here. Now there was sufficient rain this year. Now sufficient is called the quantitative or the adjective of quantity that is describing the rain, the amount of rain happened, right? Now apart from these there are a few other adjectives of quantity that are to be explained. One is very common one, little. Now little, a little, and the little. Now little means a small quantity of something. Now when I say little, a little, the little, three different words and three different meanings. Now I'll draw a picture for you. Now if I say now if you see little, a little, the little. Now these three words have different meanings. Now the first word is little. Now if I have a glass of water wherein I have small amount of water, what will I say? Little water. But if the water is less than that, if I'm comparing, so I would say the little water, a little water, less than that, almost at the negligible point of it. Then comes the little. Now the little comes when I want to specify, if I want to say the little water I had was thrown by my sister. Now was thrown by my sister, the little water means the little water here I had was thrown by my sister. I am specifying the same little amount of water that was there, but little and a little. Little means a small amount, a little means even almost at the negligible amount of it, right? So even if you add few in place of little, so few, a few and the few, it would actually go in the same rule. Now let's move on to the next category, next classification that we have, and that would be adjectives of number. Adjectives of number show how many nouns we are talking about. See, if I am talking about how many books, how many people, so anything, any noun, right? But it answers the question how many or in what order. Now how many or in what order, that shows in what order means say first or second or third. How many? 1, 2, 3, or none, no, all, whole, they all come into this category. Now let's take few examples again. The hand has 5 fingers. Now there's a small tip I want to give. Whenever you write English, don't write numerals in between. Say in place of 5, if I want to write 5 like this, one should not do that. You should always use words while writing. Even if you are writing number, write it in words. The hand has 5 fingers. Now 5 here shows the number, right? So 5 fingers, this 5 would be an adjective of number because it is telling the number of fingers in a hand, right? Then comes the second example. There are no pictures in my book. Now in this sentence, if you see, there are no pictures in my book, no will be called the adjective of number, although there are no pictures in the book, but then also this will be called adjective of number because it shows there is no number, 0. So no pictures in my book. Next example, we can say I have told you many stories. Now I have told you many stories, although I am not specifying the number here, but indefinitely I am telling that. So many would be considered as an adjective of number. Stories is a noun, plural noun, and with that we have used many. Another example that we can take is Monday is the second day of the week. Now here, if you see, Monday is the second day of the week. Now second here would be called an adjective of number because what does it do? It is actually telling the order of the week. So it comes second in the week. So this is also called as adjective of number because I have already told you, because the words that tell, that answer how many or in what order. So here it is actually telling the order of the days. So with this we finish off adjectives of number as well. Now let's do one quick exercise just to check whether we have learnt it correctly or not. Now what I'll do is I'll give you some words in the bracket. You have to select the correct word. Now the first sentence in which I'll be giving you the brackets, wherein I'll give you two choice and you have to select one. Now the first sentence we have is now the first sentence we have here is how, and in the bracket we are given much and many. There's a second bracket where we are given table or tables. Do we need? Now we need to select one. Now if you see the noun that we have, first of all check the noun that we have here is table or tables. Now according to the noun, what we need to select is the determiner here. So it is much or many. Much cannot be used with a countable word. So what we'll do? We'll use many. So how many, and with many, singular noun would not be used. So it would be plural. That means tables. So how many tables do we need? So this would be the correct answer. Now let's come to the next one. We have only Now we have only a little, a few oils left for the car. Now if you see logically, oils would be a wrong choice here, a wrong noun here. So oil is correct. Now we have only dash oil left for the car. Now oil for the car. Now for that, what will you actually choose from these two? Now few would be used with countable nouns, but oil cannot be counted. It can only be measured, right? So a little would be the right choice. A little means very negligible amount of oil in it. So we have only a little oil left for the car. Now let's come to the third sentence. Now, several or much, student or students have arrived. Now we have to, from these two brackets, we have to select one from each. Now if you see the noun, the verb that is used here is have. Now have is used with plural noun. So what is the plural noun here? It's students. Now with students, what will you use? Several or much. Now much cannot be used here because it is a countable noun. So we will use several with this. Now let's come to another one. Let's take another example for this. You won't need much or many advice or advices before you go to the new hostel. Right? Now you won't need much or many advice or advices before you go to the new hostel. Now here you won't need. Now advice is always used as singular, so we would use as advice. Now with advice we cannot use many advices, we would say much advice. You won't need much advice before you go to the new hostel. Now the last sentence that we have in this exercise is how much or many information or informations does this brochure contain? Now how much or many information or informations. Now again we don't use informations, we use information, so information would be the right choice. Now how much information or how many information? Many again would be used with the countables. Here we are using information because that is not countable, so we will say how much information does this brochure contains. This would be the right choice. So I hope with that you have understood the correct usage of certain pronouns, especially adjectives of number here. Now we'll do one exercise which will tell us that how we can use certain adjectives or certain determiners that are apart from these classifications that we have done. They although come into this category, they are also called as compound determiners. Actually, these determiners or they are actually adjectives of number or quantity only, because they have some, any, every, and no. Now with these words, something is added. What is added is somebody, someone, somewhere, and something. With all these words, if I add any, anybody, again, anyone, anywhere, anything, everywhere, everybody, everything. Now again, all these words are called compound determiners. Why? Because we add two words together. One is some or any or every, and with that we add buddy, one, a, where, and thing. All these are added. That's why, because of their structure, they are called compound determiners. So let's do the exercise just to find out. Let's see a few examples like that only. He can't hear he can't hear dash, he is completely deaf. Whenever we have a negative in a sentence and we need to use any or some, we should always use any with that. So if I say any, I need to add something. We have to fill here a compound determiner. So what will I? He can't hear. Either we can use anything or we can also use anybody. So both are the correct choices. You can write anything. He can't hear anybody. He is completely deaf. You just need to see if there is a negative, always use any. Don't use some in place of that. Another example is dash is going blurred. I can't see. And an exclamation mark. I can't see. Dash is going blurred. Blurred, the vision is blurred. So the person might not be talking about something or anything, must be talking about everything. So everything is every, and with that everything is going blurred. I cannot see. Another example that we can take here is the pen must be dash, look carefully. Now the pen must be dash, look carefully. The pen must be somewhere, or you can also say somewhere we are searching for something and the pen which is lost, it must be somewhere, look carefully. So somewhere. Now if you notice in this sentence there was no negative, like here we had can't, here we don't have any negative. The sentence seems to be very positive. That's why we have used some here, and with some the correct word that is to be added, where, buddy, or one, whatever is to be added, we add here. So with this we finished the compound determiners. Now the next classification that we were doing was of relatives. Now relatives are the words, as I told you in the introduction, they are the words that are from WH family. Now WH family here comprises of who, whose, where, what, when. how, and it even takes that in this category. Why? Because they are not only relative pronouns, they are also relative adjectives. So this would be called who, whose, where, what, when, how, that. They all come into the category of relatives. Now let's take few examples here. The boy who is standing is brilliant. Now, who is standing? What am I doing here? I am relating this, the noun, I am relating this noun, and I am clarifying, I am determining that the boy who is standing. So, I am determining, I am fixing the meaning of this noun here by using who. I am explaining it, I am modifying it. So, who here would be called a relative. Next word that we have here is I met the girl who had just returned from the US. Now, I met the girl who had just returned from the US. Here again, who I am using to clarify, to modify, to determine this word, the noun that I am using, the girl. Which girl I am talking about? I am talking about the girl who returned from the US. So, I am relating these two things in a sentence. So, this would be called a relative here. Right? Let's take one more example. He met me when I came to the office. Now again, he met me when I came to the office. So again, when is relating when the person met me. So here when would be called a relative, right? Now with this, the last thing that is the last two categories, the classifications that are left are demonstratives and interrogatives. Now let's come to the demonstratives. Now demonstratives are the words, or you can call demonstrative adjectives. These are the words that show or point out. Right? For example, if I say, this girl is intelligent. This is a black pen. So what am I doing? I am pointing out, I am showing it, I am demonstrating it. So this pen is black. Here, this would be considered as a demonstrative adjective. Next, if I say, this girl is intelligent. Okay, again a demonstration part of it is here, showing something or pointing out someone. So we will use this here. That boy is hardworking. So that here would be considered as a demonstrative adjective or a demonstrative. Why? Because again it is demonstrating or showing somebody, right? Now with this with these three examples, we can find out that the words that show or demonstrate are this, that, And apart from these two, there is these and those. When we talk about more than one, we use these and those, right? Now, let's come to the last category or last classification that we have, and that is interrogative. Now, interrogatives, in short, again, they are WH family words, but they are used in the beginning of the sentence to ask questions, right? So, interrogatives, again, WH family words to ask questions. For example, what man, what manner of man is he? Here, what manner of man is he? What manner of man is he? What kind of man is he? What kind of manners does the man have? Now, what here is used in the beginning of the sentence and will be used to ask a question. So, here it would be called as interrogative. Next example, whose, very simple ones, and we use it quite often. Whose book is this? Now, whose here again is used to ask a question to the people. Whose book is this? So, whose would be called an interrogative pronoun or interrogatives in terms of determiners. Another example that we can take here, which way shall we take? Again, very commonly used sentence. If you ask a way to somebody, which way shall we take to the station or to a hotel? Now, which here again is used to ask a question. So, this would be an interrogative or interrogatives in terms of determiners. Now, with that, we come to the end of determiners. Now, we'll be doing one exercise which will show that we have understood all our determiners, whether they are interrogatives, demonstratives, or articles or whatever. So, we'll be doing it in our next lecture. Thank you.